This is a two-part pod, and first and foremost is Ukrainian Appreciation Day. Each and every member of the Ukraine population, just such tremendous admiration. 4 years putting up with this 4 years ago today, when Putin started this nightmare, and the Ukrainian people and President Zelensky and all of the troops that are with us, and the ones that have made the ultimate sacrifice. Just deep a debt of gratitude for coming to you from a country where honor and patriotism and national pride are fractured right now. To see President Zelensky speak repeatedly, and to think about the additional complexities that he's facing besides just the raw devastation of such a grind, the war that seems to never change all that much, but to take a brief period of momentum and expand on that. It's again, it's just it is such an inspiration, particularly to those that appreciate democracy and courage at a time where the United States has failed Ukraine so profoundly. And now Donald Trump, you could guess, postulate, you could project that if he were left to his own devices and had some people with a spine around him, that his commitment to Ukraine might be a little bit different. But of course, Donald Trump, has been under the influence of Russian state security since uh, 2014 at the latest. And every time he speaks about a new way to limit Putin, Russia's military, sanctions or otherwise, it's only words. It's empty. And then he is instructed to move on to another subject, and it's a vicious cycle. And the beautiful people of Ukraine are paying the price for that in each and every day: blood, treasure, and national sovereignty. So, but again, we have to. We're here on the 4 year anniversary. We have to deal with the hand we're given, and so we will just say thank you, continued good fortune, and courage. God bless all of your countrymen and your president, and may this nightmare end sooner rather than later. But we have to prepare as if it will continue for some time, because that is the way it appears, at least from the outside now. So thanks to all of our friends in the beautiful yellow and blue. The other subject kind of spun out of an essay from 2 days ago that were in the feed, the White Rose, and how that kind of rolled into the Supreme Court discussion yesterday. I was posting this morning about the Trump administration's efforts to purchase warehouses at various places around the country. And right now, they're up to, uh, depending on the sources, very little transparency. Let's call it 8. And their goal is to double that number and then have at least 10 separate processing centers for these for immigration. And this is the this absolutely absurd catch and release, vicious, violent catch and release program that the Trump administration is in the midst of. We have to say this just in the interest of fairness, as if any of that is is warranted or reciprocated. I'm not sure, but was there a problem at the southern border? Yes, everybody knows. Is this the effort commensurate with the risk? No, it is not. Is the way that this is being executed in Minneapolis, Los Angeles, Chicago, Charlotte, and other places? It's absolutely unnecessary, violent, for the sake of cruelty and attacks on, as we've talked about before. It's blue states, blue mayors, blue governors, people that didn't vote for Donald J. Trump, which automatic grievance. And what he wants to do going into the midterm election is to, what I guess in his addled brain, is to be able to say that we're Washington D.C. as well, that we're bringing law and order to lawless blue cities, which do every single major metropolitan area, every single large urban, L.A., Chicago, New York, and otherwise, and New Orleans. Are there problems with crime? Of course, there are now, and there will be in the future. Donald J. Trump is not going to change that, and he doesn't have any interest in solving problems. All he wants to do is highlight issues and find somebody to blame, you know, because, grievance and blame kind of go hand in hand. And, of course, it couldn't, no, nothing can be his fault because he is a sovereign and the greatest president in world history, according to the the $10 Bible, according to DJT. But no, that's his mo. But we all know about the tens of billions of dollars made available by the big beautiful bill, and they're purchasing these warehouses to warehouse human beings. And as I was speaking about in this morning in a few different posts, the world's history of warehousing human beings does not read like a romance novel. Some of our darkest periods, particularly 1930s into 1940s Germany, warehousing of people. And as I mentioned a couple days ago, we don't be careful not to make false equivalences, that Donald J. Trump is Adolf Hitler, and nobody's saying that. What is clear and unequivocal and beyond debate is that Donald J. Trump is behaving as an authoritarian, as a fascist, and arresting people without due process, locking them up. And we all know that, I mean, it's not what might happen. It's what has already happened, what is documented, well documented by shipping people out of the country, and now some courts are bringing folks back, Venezuelans, for instance, who were not given due process, but they are going to accelerate this program because they have the money to do so, right? Not not because this is going to end up being good for the United States, but because they have the funding. And oh, by the way, when you purchase these warehouses, these facilities, expand them, and then operate them, a private prison sector, private prisons, the companies that will be running those facilities all kick back to the Trump organization too. So it's not a shot. Should have asked if you were sitting down first, but that's much as one hand washes the other in UAE and KSA in putting billions of dollars into the Trump Children's crypto company. You know, that happens here too. It's on a smaller scale. We saw the alligator Alcatraz, where the money that was flowing into that system was going to friends of Mr. and Mrs. Ron DeSantis. So, the corruption is, nobody's hiding it, which is, you know, as bizarre as it gets. It's uh, bizarre and absurd riding together into the sunset, holding hands in a fluid sort of MAGA relationship. It's truly it's repulsive, but it's what again it's what the facts are on the ground. This is what is happening, and until John Thune, the most handsome coward in Washington D.C., and Mike Johnson and the Supreme Court stand up and do what's right, then all we can do right now is give voice to the corruption, document it as everybody has been doing with the phones in their pockets and their voice, and by writing and podcasting and doing all those things, that we carefully document all the abuses, victory in the midterms, begin investigations, and hold people accountable. We the Senate is tantalizingly within reach now. What would have been unthinkable a year ago is now a possibility. Now, is it a probability? I wouldn't say that. That's we don't want to. Whatever happens between now and the first Tuesday in November is, no, don't get ahead of ourselves. Don't get overconfident. Don't get enamored with one particular poll over another, because we've learned those lessons. And be absolutely assured that there will be a plan, a Project 2025 infused plan right at the finish line to disrupt people's ability to vote in blue states, and then to challenge ballots after the vote is in, to disrupt the count, disrupt the mail service. All those things will happen, and the people that are qualified to challenge that, and the Mark Elias type men and women, those with that core competence to support democracy by ensuring that votes are able to be cast and are counted um, efficiently and fairly. That's what we can do. Those those are the rules of the game that we have to play. Keep, chipping away, and one more special election, and one more, even a state congressional election in Louisiana the other day that was, Trump plus 18 went plus 20 the other way. These stories are great. They don't fix the problem, but they're encouraging. It means that our work is not in vain, and that the efforts that we make to point out the corruption are getting some traction. So that is something to take pride, small measure of comfort, but take it more as sustenance, as fuel to keep fighting. Because again, it's not quite March, and we still got a ways to go. There's going to be some fights. There's going to be some Supreme Court rulings. There's going to be a little bit of everything, a partridge in a pear tree, and a number of things that we can't even possibly imagine yet. But we'll get there. Collective action. It works. Each and every corporation, you know, uh, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon, who's having more trouble with the Europeans, which is absolutely delightful. Yeah, we've got work to do. But for today, we'll just once again say a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Zelensky. A heartfelt thank you to the Ukrainian people who, I'm sitting out here in northern Massachusetts at low winter sun at approaching, I can't tell what time it is, but let's call it 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in that neighborhood. And it was 18, 19, 20 this morning, and it's 29 right now. That our friends and brothers and sisters in Ukraine are dealing with one of the coldest winters in recent memory, and having to pile, 7 blankets on the kids just to get through the night and try to get a little bit of rest, getting a couple hours of electricity to allow your life to continue. And some taking some wins, hitting Russian fuel depots and infrastructure, and doing some damage. So that's a beautiful thing. But it's this is for the U.S. The Russian Putin interference will only end. It'll never end until Putin is ultimately ended. But the nexus of corruption between Putin and Trump is still going strong. You know, again, it set up 2014 to win 2016, and it continue all the way through. Right? That's what it's been, and that's what it'll continue to be. So let's focus on the midterms, get them out, love all of your Ukrainian friends, family, pen pals, and uh, girlfriends, boyfriends, your wife's boyfriend, your husband's girlfriend, whoever it is. If they're Ukrainian, then show them some love, and keep an eye on again, the if we're adding 1 million square feet of warehouse space, and we're going to increase the capacity to detain people, many of which have no reason being detained, and we're going to increase the current capacity of 60 to 90,000 people with a court system, immigration court system that has the capacity now to manage maybe 9 or 10,000, right? And there are many jurisdictions in the big cities that you would think of in LA, Chicago, New York, and some other busy jurisdictions that now we're out to 3 years for a hearing. You're going to warehouse people. We've seen the conditions. We've learned the lessons of Alligator, Alcatraz, and otherwise. So part of the plan, part of the Project 2025, is to make the conditions so incredibly horrible that nobody else will try to come. I understand the I understand the definition of the word deterrence, but adding it, adding cruelty to deterrence and the human impact of that is inexcusable. Right? So on the other side of that, make it so miserable, horrible food, substandard medical attention, scabies and other pests and infestation in these facilities, poor treatment, abuse, sexual abuse. People have died. And then you can imagine these uh, Jethros coming around and saying, you know, if you sign here to self-deport, then we'll give you a six pack, a hot dog, and a couple $100, and you'll be on the next plane to wherever we decide to send you. You just, of course, you'll never come back, and if your family's here, you'll never see them until they come and join you in South Sudan or wherever we decide to send you. So the cruelty is compounded and then continues. It follows these people. I'm not debating whether coming across a border illegally is hashtag illegal, right? And I'm pretty clear on that. But do they need to be abused, assaulted, sexually assaulted, humiliated, starved, kept in a facility? There are because of RFK Jr. and the corrosive effect of his, batshit uh, uh, medical program that he's running. There are measles outbreaks. The reason they had to stop deportations from that Texas facility, including to a male couple from Iran, that they had to stop the deportation because they had measles, and they couldn't deport them back to Iran, where they will be imprisoned, tortured, and or killed because they are too gay men, and the U.S. government knows that. So the cruel, it's become trite. The cruelty is part of the program. Cute catchphrases don't minimize the repulsive human behavior that allows the Trump administration to do this. And what I mean by allow is, first and foremost, John Thune, the most handsome coward currently residing in the United States. Proud man of the Dakotas. Handsome as a bastard, but doing nothing for America other than kissing ass with a fucking game show host. Right. That's about it. Right. Each and every one of the corporate leaders, John Thune, John Roberts, Mike Johnson, Mike Johnson, what they're doing is they're kissing the ass of a fucking game show host. For what? Explain that. Each of them can explain that to their grandchildren, right? No, they can try, but unless they're lying to their own kids and grandkids, which would not surprise me if their overall character is judged by their current performance, which makes it just doubly disappointing. So, on that cheery note, love Ukraine, kiss a Ukrainian. Ask first. Don't just run up and beautiful women. Don't do that. Beautiful men. Don't do that. Ask first. But if they say yes, then kiss them. Tell them that you love them and that you appreciate their courage, and we hope that we can reciprocate in some way in the near future because, as they probably noticed, uh, it ain't a day at the beach here right now either. So, thank you. Have a beautiful night, and kindly do the subscribe, restack, etc. Thank you. Have a great day.